Hey, everybody. Hey, Laura. Good to see you.
Hey, Tisha, tinge of badass, awesomeness, and epicness.
And I've got Laura Nutt on. She's the Lioness Liberator. And if you were tuning in live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on YouTube, we would love to chat with you. But today we're going to kick this off, the Tisha Talks Live at 4:45 series. And Laura and I were actually just chatting about just how this week has just been long. It is. If you guys caught my Tuesday, I was like, "Oh man, is it Friday? Like, tell me it's Friday." No, we haven't even made it to Hump Day.
Just like wish it into the universe. Just like it's Friday. In my mind, it's Friday. It's Friday.
Yes, I know. Well, luckily, tomorrow is Friday, Laura. I'm so excited. We made it. We made it another week.
That deserves a golf clap. Golf clap all around. We've survived. We're almost
absolutely
there.
Does. So aside from Laura hosting podcasts, myself hosting live streams, we've also been on other people's podcasts and live streams this week. So it's been a busy week. It's been a very busy week. And today we're going to dive into this whole art of the pivot, because I know a lot of us are in that pivot stage, or we could say shifting gears. Mm-hmm. And Laura, I actually just want to dive in and talk about, like, so before the pandemic, was there something you were doing like, this is it, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell to the wayside? Because I was there. I was definitely there.
Yes, it was kind of interesting on my story because, like, I was actually in mental health for 7 years. So I'm a licensed professional counselor supervisor in Texas. So hey, y'all. And I've been doing that for so long, but I'm going to be honest, I wanted to get out of it because it's a wonderful career, but it is very taxing because nobody comes in with a great, cup of coffee, sunshine, rainbows. I'm having a great day. It's like Mary Poppins. We don't get that ever. Never happened. No. It's always raining. It's sad. Somebody's in a struggle. And that can be very, very taxing on somebody working around that all the time. So I was just always like, oh my gosh, I've got to do something different, but it never happened. And then I actually had a 7-month period where I had my own pivot or shift, mm-hmm. or, if you have an allergic reaction to pivot, then I'm sorry, shift, maybe pirouette. If
pirouette,
if you want to call
I like that. I like that. You're such a wordsmith.
Just a little ballerina, just pirouette. And I actually changed my whole purpose because I had physical health issues during that time. I had mental health issues during that time. I had spiritual health issues, and literally I was put on my face, and it was like, okay, it's time to stop being so selfish, and it's time to give back and do something different. So when COVID hit, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't even do counseling even if I wanted to. So I have to do something different because literally we couldn't see people face to face. We had the opportunity to do virtual, but some people were still kind of hesitant. And then it was hard because in the state of Texas was changing their laws. We were changing boards at the time. So it was just a lot going on, and people were afraid they were going to lose their jobs. And so I was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to do something else. And so I've been on my own journey. I was going to life coaching and then wellness coaching. And now I've officially determined I am a content marketer.
Which you are so good at that, content marketing. I watch and I see all of your posts, and I mean, you are like viral. Like everything you post is like lots of people,
more than
liking it, lots of comments. Yes, content marketing. And sometimes we find ourselves in that. I love this word of the day, pirouette. Yes. Like this word. Laura, I think you are so good at this whole wordsmith everything and that pirouette. I like that. So another word for pivot. But yes, content marketing. So that's what you're helping people with. It seems like you really truly enjoy it too, it's always good when you love what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Especially coming from somewhere where you're not enjoying what you're doing. You're good at what you do, but you're really cringing. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to go into work. And oh my gosh, like I have to do this. And that's not right. That's doing a disservice to your client. That's doing a disservice to yourself, because you need to love what you do. I mean, think about it. We work longer than any other thing that we do. We spend more time at work. And if we're not happy at our job, then we're not happy in our life. We're not.
Right.
And so when my job sucked, my life sucked. Just pure and simple. So
They
pirouette
are
was
related.
definitely needed. Yes, pirouette was
Yes.
definitely needed. And sadly for me, I was bullheaded, so it was forced for me. But I'm so thankful because now it found a new place of healing for me. It created a new safe space and it created a new niche that I had no idea that needed to be filled. So with
Mm.
content marketing, so I'll share that. So the art of the pirouette
Ooh,
for
the hit.
me into content marketing is I found that when I was posting, people were really resonating with my post. As you spoke about, Tisha, is people were really resonating, they were responding, they were viewing it. And I didn't realize it was such a big deal. But then I was having other people going, how are you getting so many views? How are you getting so many followers? How are you getting? And I'm like, I don't know. And it kind of was a silly answer. It sounded so stupid on my end, but I truly didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was just being me.
Yeah.
And I figured it out. It was kind of my light bulb pirouette moment when I went to
Yeah.
when I had a gentleman I met, and he told me, he said, I've seen your picture. I've read your content. I've read your about me section. And I'm cringing because I'm afraid I'm going to hear those words. You're not at all what I expected, because that's what we don't want to hear. And he said, you're exactly as I pictured you. And
Oh,
I
yes.
went, oh my gosh, I get it now. It's the congruence with your brand. I
Mm-hmm.
built my brand and I'm congruent with my brand personally and in person and digitally. And that's where the gap is. The gap is a lot of people, they have a brand, they've heard a brand is like, we've heard this, we know this, but you really don't. Do you really know your brand? Because if you know your brand, you're going to be consistent even on the digital space, even on the digital
Absolutely.
platform in your content. That should give somebody a great idea of who you are and what you're about. Because a lot of people, I've even had experiences where I'm talking to people and they get on and I'm like, are you on the wrong Zoom call? Because this is
This
not
isn't you. That
this
doesn't seem
isn't,
like
if I'm on a
you.
dating site, I'm like, wait a minute, like that commercial, like Pinocchio shows up, it's just like, that's what I feel like. Because I'm like, no, like, or they're talking and I'm sitting here like looking like literally girl, like on the phone, like looking like what what
Yeah.
what you know like
Yeah.
like you talk about this and this, but then when you're speaking you speak like this, and that's the worst thing in the world for your business and your relationships is no, they need to know, and virtual presence is more important than it ever has been before. This is our business card right here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right here. This is your business card.
Yes.
I know, this is it. This is you. This is your chance to sell. This is your chance to create connections. And if you're not congruent, and what I mean by congruent is matching, if you're not parallel with
Right.
who you are, your brand, your message, your values, all that, then why is somebody going to buy from you? They're not. At least I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you, I'm not. Heck no. If you don't know what you're talking about, and if you represent like this, and you come out like this,
Mm-hmm. This is what I'm talking about. People are confusing. They're so confusing. So love this. Brett, thank you, Brett, for being on. We do have a question, Laura. Let's take this question, shall we? It says, with your background in psychology, how have you applied that to effective directed campaigns like emotional leveraging? Yeah, good question. Oh, I don't know if you're muted, Laura. It sounds like you might be muted. Maybe your camera or your microphone. Yeah, so she's going to try and figure out. I can't hear your, yeah, this is live stream, everybody, but yes, I think it might be your microphone connection, because we're having the same problem. I was a live stream guest with June and we were having some issues with her plugged in mic. It's why I'm like, I'm just going to go with my computer mic because I know it's connected. Well, while Laura's figuring that out, I really love what she's sharing about how we have to be the same person online, in person, everywhere we meet, on Zoom calls, because there is such a big disconnect if you show up one way versus another. So, Laura, I don't know if it's maybe, do you want to unplug your mic and just use your computer mic would be good? No, it's not working. Ah, okay. All right. Well, guys, we might have to cut this short. It's okay, but I will have Laura back on. I know technical difficulties always. I think maybe, Laura, maybe that's the universe just telling us we're done for the week. What do you think? I know she and I have had kind of a crazy. There is another question. Do you feel common topic drafting is an effective way to engage on content offerings? So if you have questions for Laura, because we're having some problems with just her sound and her being able to respond back on this live stream, then I'm going to encourage you to connect with Laura. She is on LinkedIn, Laura Nutt. You can find her under the Lioness Liberator, and ask her those questions, because these are great questions and I want to make sure that she sees them, she hears them, and she responds back to you. But I will leave you with this, that one of the best compliments, I'm sure Laura can attest to this, is when someone says, you're the same person I see online, in person, on a virtual call. Like, that is such a huge compliment, because it means that you're showing up authentically and you're showing up as your brand every single time. So I shared this earlier. I'm getting ready to launch a personal brand builder challenge. So if you are really experiencing, like, I don't even know what my brand is, I don't know who I am, I don't know how to stand out, I don't know how to lead with that, then this is a really great challenge for people to jump on. It is a free challenge where we're teaching you all of those steps to laying the foundation. So personal brand builder challenge is is where it's at. Ken, yes, it's officially Friday. It's official. Tisha says it's Friday. Have a great weekend. Yes, thank you. I'm so excited that we're on.
I'm back.
Hey, it's not Friday yet, Ken. We're back in business.
It's because Ken said it's official. Tisha says it's Friday that I came back. Thank you, Ken. You saved my end of the show. Thank you.
I know. I was like, all right, peace out, everybody. We're out. Technical difficulties again. It's okay.
We blew up the bandwidth. I'm sorry. I will calm my pirouette down.
All right. Hey, Laura, so we still have some time. Do you want to jump into some of these questions, and I'll throw them back on to the screen, because we have a couple of things. But again, with your background in psychology, how have you applied that to effective directed campaigns like emotional leveraging, etc.?
Oh, that is an excellent question. So that is something that I definitely love to focus on, because psychology is the focus of, it's the mind and what makes people tick. And so when we're speaking about any type of campaigning, it's always emotional. And I always look at sales and marketing and branding that way, because when I'm talking to somebody, I'm not selling my product or my service, I'm selling myself. First and foremost, always. And so that's one thing that I always keep in mind with my brand and everything that I'm putting out of my content, is it always has an emotional overtone and an undertone. So there's something on the overtone that the audience or the recipient immediately gets. Like, it makes them feel good, it makes them feel happy, it makes them feel sad. You know, it evokes an emotion. Because think about a commercial. It evokes that. Like, I think of the Lexus commercial, and the reason it's a lioness. Like, I love the lion, but I think about where it's the little girl and she's walking up and she sees a lion on the other side of the glass, and he roars and she, you know, and then it shows the car with the exhilaration. You know, it plays into that emotional leveraging of, like, this is exciting and I want this. Or a same thing, it's sad, or it's a campaign or organization where you're needing funding or fundraising, things like that. So focusing on selling yourself and your brand is a big thing. I mean, let's think about it. Let's be honest. Shoot, if somebody doesn't like you, they're not going to buy from you. Just there, I said it. So for everybody in sales and marketing, boom, I just busted that myth.
That's like basic 101, basic marketing 101. Yes.
Yeah. If somebody doesn't like you, they're not going to buy your product. You could have the best product in the world, but they're not going to touch it. Not even close. You have to sell yourself first. So that's your first sale, is yourself. Then you can bring in your product or your service. And so always be mindful of that, and make yourself the initial product and service, and bring your awesomeness to the table, and they buy into that. They'll buy into any campaign that you do. They'll buy into any product that you want to sell, any service. And that's customer loyalty. That's brand loyalty right there.
That's great. I love that. Okay, we have another question, Laura. Let me throw this up on the screen. Do you feel common topic drafting is an effective way to engage on content offerings? I think this might be Ken. I don't know. Ken, is that you? You ask some really good questions all the time.
That's right. Ken, are you jumping in since you saved the show? Are you jumping in these amazing
I know.
questions?
I was like, do you want to be in the StreamYard with us?
I know. It's like we have to bring Ken on totally. So common topic drafting. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a rebel. I don't play by the rules. So anything that's girl, thank you. I'm gonna do my
I know.
little
I'm
nut
like,
dance. Best
your,
believe. You better
nut
like I said,
dance. She's
wham
doing
bam
the
honey
nut
jam.
dance. Yes.
Yeah, so anything that's common, standard, tradition, this is the way we've always done it. Boom. Don't do that. I do what feels right to me. I feel, oh, girl, snap, snap. Don't give me that snapping more. I will do it.
I know you will. I know you will.
I will. But yeah, anything that feels right to me, that's what I post because that's my brand. My brand is all about authenticity. My brand is about vulnerability. My brand is about resilience and it's about grit and it's integrity. And that doesn't come standard. That doesn't come common topic. That doesn't come in a packaged little box. So this is where it is. I mean, the world can tell you that, but guess what? You are special and awesome the way you are. And there's nobody like you. And there's nobody who can walk your journey. So there's nobody who can sell that product like you. There's nobody who can sell that style, that function, that event, that pirouette is yours, honey, and you got to rock it. There's just no other way. And so, no, I do not go off any of that. I pretty much just say, this is what it is. I do my market research because I want to be relevant, but I go off of intuition. This is what I'm feeling. And then I ask questions with my consumers, my potential clients. I ask, what do you want? What are you looking for? What is your message? What are your values? And whatever that is, I'm going to take that and I'm going to say, okay, this is what we need to do. I feel this is what's right. Let's figure out together how we're going to do that.
So, Laura, I have a question for you. What would you say to someone who is constantly using other people's content? Because we see that a lot. It's like the success quote, or I pulled this off of Google Images and I posted it up there. You see a lot of that. And I will say that I love your story because I am very much like that too, where I'm more of a spontaneous poster. The stories are mine. Even if you've derived at this lesson another way, awesome. But this is my unique story. And
yes.
What I found is I do like to scroll through some content. And if it's something that really hits a nerve with me or resonates, I will piggyback on that. And I think that's a great way to kind of do some research on content, is what's speaking to you to then
exactly.
put out. But also giving credit to people where it's due. Hey, so-and-so had this post, Laura put this post up, and I thought it was like, epicness. I wanted to expand and elaborate on this and, share it that way. But I don't have any problem with that. But I think this whole thing of, wow, you just took that off of Google Images and posted it as your own, or it's like, or, I will say this, I've had people do social media for me, and it was a lot of curated entrepreneur.com articles. And I don't talk like that. It's so easy to see if someone else is doing it for you, and if it's really not in tune with who you are and what you're about and what you would post if it were you.
Right, exactly. Well, and kind of what I'm thinking is when you're talking is I'm like imposter syndrome, like big
Right.
time. Because, yeah, you're taking somebody else's content and you're saying it's your own, and you're not coming up with your own unique concept. And to me, that's just like I have a allergic reaction to that.
There's your allergic reaction. Yeah.
Yes. Like, no. It's like it makes me cough. No, don't do it. Don't just no. I mean, as I call myself a content connoisseur, and the reason I say that is I'm not an expert, but I am somebody who is true to my brand. And so every time I post, it's going to be original. It's going to come from me. It is going to come from my heart, my spirit, my mind, and all of that, everything that I'm feeling, even though I'm talking about maybe a common topic or a hot topic or whatever, a universally shared topic, whatever it is, it's going to be my unique perspective. And I'm going to offer that out there, and I'm going to open it up to other people to share their perspectives as well. I'm not going to just take something and say, oh, this was really, really great, and now I'm just going to use it instead of doing something on my own. No, again, I'm a rebel. I don't operate like that. I don't copy anybody. There's nobody like me. And then I'm not like anybody else. And that's not saying that I'm arrogant. I'm just saying I'm comfortable in who I am. And God created me to be me and be this nut house. And I'm going to be this nut house. And that's what you're going to get. So it's like, again, hate it or love it. This is who I am. And so for all my content creators, like, be original. Because as I'm seeing this this next question, which is awesome. So I'll definitely hit on it. And talking about, so the content, so how do I see content landscape changing in next year post-COVID? That is an excellent question, because I think it's going to change a whole lot, honey. It's going to change, because content before, even on LinkedIn, we've seen a huge shift, because originally LinkedIn was like business professionals, right? So that was where we came to get a job. It was HR tips, interview tips, and people job posting, stuff like that. And it is not like that anymore at all. I mean, it has completely shifted. It has pirouetted, people. It has. Like, now it's a place where people come and they share their personal experiences, they share their thoughts, they share their views, they share everything. It's really become a place of original content like it's never been before. You still have your cut and paste.
Oh, yeah.
You still have your cut and pasters. But we're seeing a revolution of people being open and vulnerable and sharing those personal experiences online, whereas before they weren't doing that. Not on this platform anyway. There were other platforms, maybe they were doing that, but now they're doing it here. And so I definitely think that post-COVID, we're going to see more of that. We're going to start seeing more of this drive toward unity, this drive toward humanity and coming together and really addressing these issues that we've been ignoring for so long, because there's too much in your face. There's too much in your face to sit there to say this is not an issue, this is not going on, and we can just ignore it. Especially people like me, because I'm going to call people up straight out, because that's just what lioness liberators do. Just go raw, honey. Like, it's going to happen. So
Here we go. Another snap.
Snap. Gurrah. Boom. There it is. But yeah, so I mean, it's going to shift. I think as we're continuing to pirouette, our content has to pirouette with it. It's like, we can't unpirouette, right? We can't go backwards. We can't go back to where we came from, because we were very rigid and very stuck in our boxes, and this is how we act and this is what we do. And now it's like, what do we do? Like, how do we act? I don't even know. And so our content I sense that is going to reflect that. It's going to be much more real. We're going to have to drop that fake facade of hiding behind social media and pictures and stuff and be real, because the world calls us to be real. And so if we want to survive in business, if we want to survive in our relationships, if we want to survive in just being human beings, we got to drop the mask. And that's the thing. And that's how I'll tell you, that's the secret sauce. Cat's out of the bag. Be yourself. Be authentic. That's what people love. That's what people connect with. That's, for me, that's why Tisha and I connected, because she's authentic and I'm authentic. She's a tinge of badass awesomeness and epicness. And I love that about her. And I'm this crazy nut house, wham, bam, honey jam. Hey, y'all, get some. You ain't ready. All that. Hashtag they ain't about that life. But if they are about that life, call me. You know, it's just, that's who we are. And that's why people either they love us or hate us. And so we draw those high vibration people in. So your content has to reflect that. If you're high vibration, content needs to be boom, right there, high vibration, because that's the people you're going to attract.
Yes. And hey, I want to give a shout out. Dr. Alice Kirby says the lioness liberator. I love this. And Dr. Alice Kirby was on Casual Convo Friday with us a few weeks ago.
Love you, girl.
And she said something, and every time I see her name, so she was talking about how you can be like Buddha chilling on a cloud. Like that's a saying that just keeps popping in my head of just like, you know, relaxing, re-energizing, and just get to that place where you're like Buddha. And I, you know, just have to give a shout out to Dr. Alice Kirby for joining us and reminding me of that visual. But I, you know, same thing, Laura. I was very much just in that imposter syndrome. And you've talked about this, like the imposter syndrome we find ourselves in. And I was there. Definitely was there back in 2017. And I am big into do something bold. What's something bold? And for me, that was going on a live and just being like, listen, I'm not perfect. This year sucked. It's my birthday. I'm throwing this year away. We are doing it again. Like, I was so much in that because so many people put us on this pedestal. They see us on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram and they're like, she's got everything figured out. And I was like, what if I told you I don't? What if I told you my kid screamed at me today? Ah! I know. It's just like, what?
Like, oh my God, she's not perfect. Like, my ears are bleeding. No.
I know.
Like,
and I struggled so much with that because it's the whole, I'm on the pedestal. I don't want to be on your pedestal. I share this a lot in my personal branding talks. I'm like, please let me jump from the pedestal because I would much rather just be me, no expectations. This is it.
I pushed you off of it, to be honest. Like, I'm like total like jerk, like American Gladiator, like like with a Q-tip or whatever, just to like bump you off of it. I totally dated myself.
I was stuck up there for so long, and finally I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just get off this thing, how great would it be to just, be me, be real, and just talk about what's going on in my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the bad moments. And that's honestly, people are not judging you for that. They're like, I applaud you for that. I applaud you for coming out and telling us about what's going on and, and looking at your tribe to support you and pull you back up. So
yes, that's huge. The tribe. Everybody needs a tribe. Everybody has a tribe. If you haven't found yours, it's okay. You will, because you can't make it without the tribe. I've tried. Epic failure. Epic failure. You have to have your tribe, and it's people who love you for you. You can be quirky, you can be goofy, you can be silly, you can have your dumb moments, and they're just like, oh, right? So like in Texas, we say, bless your heart, which basically means stupid.
I don't know if you know what that means, but yes, my friend calls them Tisha-isms. When I've said that's what she calls them.
Yes, it's those isms, right? But yeah, just be you and be authentic. And I love that you mentioned that, like, people applaud you more than you realize. There's that fear of people are going to judge me. I can't be me because they're going to reject me. They're going to judge me, stuff like that. I totally put myself out there with this. Like, I never thought I would be doing podcasts and stuff like that. And I had people reaching out to me going, oh my God, you were so funny. I love you and stuff. And I'm just like, really? Like, and I'm like, awesome. So then it encourages me to be more goofy and more myself and stuff. And people love that rather than me being like rigid and like, this is Laura Nutt and this is how you do content and this is how you do. Ain't nobody got time for that, girl. I mean, come on.
I like that you're like, I'm in the Nutt house. That's what it is.
I am. When you marry into the Nutt house and you got this name, girl, like it just comes to all kinds of stigma. You just got to roll with it.
Yeah.
You just do. You just roll in the Nutt house.
You roll with the Nutt house. Well,
rolling with nuts.
It's late for you in Dallas, and I know I have to jump off and make dinner and do that whole mom life stuff, all that good stuff. I just want to say thank you, and I'm so happy that we got you back on, even with like all the tech problems. Why you just hang with us? It's just why you hang. And thank you so much, though, for being on Tisha Talks Live with me and joining me. And thanks to our guests who were on live and also will comment in the replay. Definitely. I'm gonna do this. Ready? Definitely connect with this girl. I did it.
We had to practice beforehand. It's sad.
I was like, definitely connect with this girl right here. She is a ball of fun. So exciting. I love what you're doing and your art of the pirouette. And keep it going. So happy for you. So proud of you. Bravo, Laura.
Thank you, love, and thank you, guys. You've been so fun. Thank you for putting up with those technical difficulties and sticking with the Nutt house. Appreciate you. Hope you got some nutty takeaways, some nut nuggets to take home with you. They're very yummy.
Oh, yes. I wanted to say you have your podcast that's going to be launching sometime soon. So do you want to tell people before we go what that is and what to look for?
Sure. So we'll do one last hurrah, one last gurrah. And so it's called Faith Squared. So yeah, gurrah, honey. And so it's spelled out Faith Squared, but it has the two, like the exponent. And it's basically just talking to people about their darkest, deepest, darkest moments, hitting rock bottom and actually going there into the nitty gritty and having the visceral reactions of what it was like to be there. And then taking that tragedy and turning it to a triumph and being able to give back and pay it forward on how people got through that. So we don't talk about just the fluffy stuff, all the feel goods. We talk about, again, the good, bad, the ugly, the real stuff. So if you're looking for the nitty gritty, the Nutt House nuggets, really what goes on the Nutt House, come on, honey. I'm ready.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. Dan Dominguez from the Y Institute, thank you for tuning in. He said, well done. Yes, thank you. See, I think we're just kind of loony right now. Like, we're just like, it's time. It's time for the evening.
It is. I feel like we're going to have like another like Looney Tunes moment. Like it's going to happen. Like we're just going to be on and just be like, let's just be delirious. Like it's fine. We're entertaining people at least.
We are. We're entertaining. So there you go. This is your Thursday night laugh. All right, Laura, thank you so much for being on. I will see you on LinkedIn. Make sure you connect with Laura on LinkedIn at Laura Nutt. And we will see you, lady. We will see you, lady. We will see you later, lady.
See you later, ladies, and bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.